Welcome to the Gigs podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Sanz, founder and CEO of Gigs. And today we are stepping inside the Kingfisher Production Studio, the newest offering from Leo Events. And this is too cool. This place gives creators and brands a whole new way to storytell. So we're gonna step inside, we're gonna see how it works, and we're gonna meet the awesome people behind the scenes that really bring this thing to life. Let's go. I am here with Stacy Ladd, Senior Director of Media Production. Stacy, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Tell me about the space that we're in right now.
Yeah, so this is Leo's newest office in Nashville. We are right here in the heart of Hillsborough Village, which we love. We opened in October, and we redesigned the space to just make it feel more collaborative, more creative, and just a great place to work.
And I know that there's some cool history about this building.
Yeah. So Earl Swenson, very famous Nashville architect, which he actually was the architect for the Batman building, which is very,
Very Nashville.
Opryland Hotel, I think, was another one.
Okay.
So yeah, he was a big-time architect in Nashville. This was actually his building originally.
Oh, wow.
He designed it. He worked out of it. Yeah, and then it just became kind of a staple of Music Row. And then Toby Keith, actually more famously, held the building, and we kind of just honed in on that, creative history. So I know this was kind of like a hangout area where maybe there was like a room over, there was a hot tub somewhere. So
I feel like buildings hold like spirit, and if there was creativity in here, that's kind of, y'all are meant to be in here.
Yeah,
that's cool.
We definitely channel that.
How long have you been with Leo?
I have been here for 9 years.
Okay. And I know meeting some of your colleagues, like most people have been here for years and years.
Yeah.
So it just says a lot about the company. So Leo Events, you guys are an experiential marketing agency. What are some of the things you guys do?
Yeah, we do everything from brand activations to general sessions, B2B. We also do B2C, music festivals, public-facing events. Yeah.
So I'm seeing some of these maybe past work in this mural. Can we talk about this?
Yeah, of course. Come on over. So we've got kind of a mixture of everything. This was commissioned by Danny Wilson, who's an artist here in town.
Cool.
And we've got a little touch of all the different, we've got some of our clients, Hilton, Google, Sherwin-Williams, AutoZone, obviously the Leo touch.
Did you guys build a Pac-Man maze?
Yes. So that was for one of our clients, and it was just like a fun outdoor festival that we built the Pac-Man maze.
Ryder Cup, Hilton, Google Cloud, FedEx. You've worked with some very large brands. My goodness.
We have.
Okay, so Toby Keith lived on this floor.
Yeah.
It's so cool that, what an ode to the history of this building that y'all are still creating art here.
Oh, of course, yeah. And actually, the fourth floor was where his studio was, and now that's where we're creating anything from anywhere. Let's go. So here we are. This is the fourth floor. This is where our studio team works. And then in here is where all the magic happens. So now I'm going to introduce you to Brett Clark, who's our director of studio and editorial.
Let's do it. We are inside the Kingfisher Production Studio, and I'm sitting down with Brett Clark, who's the director of studio and editorial here. And we're walking on site this virtual production set.
Nikki, welcome to Paris.
This is crazy. Welcome to the Gigs podcast, Brett.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
It's great to be here. I mean, where are we? I can't believe how real this looks.
Well, we're in Paris. I mean, we're here right now in Paris, as real as could be.
And so we have all this lighting set up around us to make it look. Oh, hi. Thank you so much. This looks real too. Is this AI as well?
This is clearly AI. Like, it's getting so good. So good. It's really about being a prompt artist to make that work. So that was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
She looked so real.
Yeah.
Okay, so first tell me what's real in this scene, what is not.
Clearly the chair you're sitting on, that's real. The table's real. Lighting is real, but lighting is also subjective to what's happening in the scene. So we lit for how this scene is set up. But, part of what makes all this work is the interaction between what's real and what's unreal. So if you look at the lights, and you can see, lights, if you look at my hand, the lights play into it. The shadows play into everything.
Oh, my gosh.
But that's a matter of us flagging lights off here so that it plays in here.
It's because there's can we go up and see that
Tilt up for us, Tyler. Show us.
An awning.
Here we are. And that's the other thing that's really cool, and is we can basically expand our set beyond where it is. Because if we switch back to green, you'll see it's limited in what our set is. And you can see Tyler moving around, you see all the equipment. But if we go back to Unreal, then you see our set is extended to whatever we need it to be.
Wow. Okay, can you put your hand out into the sunshine again?
Sure.
Look at that.
Yeah, I'm going to get burned, though. I didn't do any sunscreen. So
put some sunscreen on.
It's not good.
How much of this does come down to lighting versus the digital environment?
It's communication between the two, right? So what's great about this is we can actually pull the environment up on the screen and light for it. As opposed to with more traditional green screen shooting, it's, okay, here's the scene we have, we're lighting for it, but we don't really have the immediate feedback of, oh, here's how it looks. Oh, is that light playing? Is that shadow playing? Here, we can pull the environment up, put it on the monitor, and we're in here back and forth like, oh no, let's put this flag here, let's move this here. That color temperature's wrong on the light. Let's get the right look for that. So it's all of that playing together.
Got it. What was your role in the creation, the construction, and the development of this?
Well, when we purchased the space, there was an existing shell here. So it was from scratch, pulling the whole thing together, calling all of the tech folks that I know. I was like, okay, how would we do this? What's the best solution for this? What's our best motion tracker to use? Because there's so many different options, technology-wise, that we could use. And it was finding the right things in here that would do the things we need them to do.
How long did it take to build this?
It was about 2.5 years from start to finish. So this is a smaller space. We're in downtown, and that just means your footprints are smaller. What this gives us, using this technology, using the MOSIS trackers and the cameras we're using and the Unreal Engine on green, it gives us, like we showed you earlier, that extended set.
Can we see it?
Do it again. Tyler, do a little pan for me to the right or left, whatever way you want. Dealer's choice.
Okay, so yeah, it continues to go.
Continues to go. And now go back to the right so they can see the city.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we
so
can see the whole city.
The fact that we can extend this set as big as the world we're living in gives us infinite options.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Like, my mind is going with what you can do in here. I mean, the answer, I'm sure, is unlimited, whatever a client wants.
Oh, 100%.
What do you envision as this space being used for the most?
I mean, honestly, it's stuff like this. If our clients are like, hey, we need to do a shoot in this location, but we don't have the access we need to it. Well, that's great. We can go scan that location, rebuild it in here, and then what would have been a very expensive 5-day shoot that would have been very difficult to do becomes a less expensive, could still be a 5-day shoot, but it's all here and it's all controlled. And then you're not having to worry about permitting, access, what are their busy times, what are their slow times. So it's like you have ultimate options when it comes to how that production is going to work.
Or noise on a Paris street, sidewalk.
Yeah, but that's the great thing about posting all this. We can put sound in there. We can do all that.
Okay, so a client comes to you and they're like, okay, I want to be in a production studio in New York City.
Yeah.
You can make that happen.
We can make that happen. And it's a matter of, once they tell us that, we start getting into the details. We start getting into the technical. Okay, what do you want the studio to look like? How big do you want it to be? What's the coloring look like? What kind of vibe do you want it to be? Do you want an old studio? Do you want a new studio? Do you want hip modern? That's the great thing. It's, you start asking the question is, what do you want it to be? Wow. And then we can make it what they want it to be. Not just what already exists. We can do that too. That's also an option, but it's taking, okay, I like this, but I want to change out this artwork, or I want to change out the way this wall works. And we can change out all the little details to make it exactly what the client needs it to be.
Are you prompting? How are you creating the world?
So everything we're doing is in the Unreal Engine. Okay. So we are building that in a 3D environment. And I know later we're going to go talk to Matt a little bit, and he's going to walk us through Unreal and the power of Unreal.
Great.
But that's what we're using to do that. It's Unreal Engine. It's a real-time 3D renderer.
So what's the most technical part of this that most people don't realize is even happening?
Well, first off, it's all insanely technical, right? But the thing that I would say is the most transparent piece are the motion trackers.
Okay, is that all the dots on the
That's all the dots, that everything going here, and it's the motion sensors that are on the cameras that are reading that information. But it's so well tied in that it's really transparent, and no one really knows it's going on.
Right.
That is probably one of the hardest things to pull off, because that's what's giving us, when you look at, as you know, Tyler's moving here, that's what's having the world move with us, is the fact that with these trackers, we're capturing camera location, position, height. We're also capturing lens information. So if we rack focus, the environment behind us is going to do that with us.
I should just call you James Cameron.
You probably shouldn't. Like, he's good.
You know,
yeah,
it's
he's
crazy.
Good.
I mean, I'm a huge Avatar fan, and so it's cool to see that, you know, just anyone can book a studio like this.
You can,
and literally be in a whole new world.
Yeah.
Avatar. Next time.
Next time, Avatar. Okay.
So who is, you know, I mean, I'm sure it's endless as well, but ideal clients for Leo to welcome into this studio?
It's all the Music Row folks that are here and able to come work anytime they want, but it's also our focus on corporate clients that also is a great advantage for us because we're giving creative and all those things, and we have a great creative department here that's feeding all of that, which is great. So all
virtual
that kind of
corporate events.
Virtual corporate events, yeah. I mean, if this were around and up and functioning during COVID, we would have been nonstop working. And with Leo, we were doing some of this, doing a lot of comping after the fact during COVID. So aspects of this were happening, but it wasn't happening to where there was this much real environment. And that was the technology. The technology wasn't there yet.
How do you see this saving people money?
Part of what people think about green screen is it's expensive. And they also think it's just for blockbusters, right? And it's more than just that. It's going to save you on crew. It's going to save you on travel. It's going to save you on location scouting in and of itself. It's going to have location fees go down. That doesn't mean there's less work because to build this environment, that takes, depending on the environment, could take weeks. So you still have to build the things. There's a lot to do. I mean, depending on the environment like this, I think once we got it and tweaked it, it was about 3 or 4 days all in to get this working right.
Wow.
But there's a lot to it.
We're going to get into the control room in the back to really learn the complexity. Yeah. What do you think people might get wrong about the level of complexity about this? We do make it look so simple, I think, until you walk in the room and then you're like, wait, there's a lot going on here, right? And that's what I've had more people say than not is, I didn't understand this until I saw it. Because how do you explain this? Right.
How do you show it? Like, there's the only way to show it when you were here for the open house. It's like you saw what this did, but you have to see it.
You have to sit down.
So everybody just come on in.
Come on in.
Yeah, come on in, we'll do it, and we'll show you what it does.
You just got to sit in Paris and be like, oh, I get it. Music video, corporate event. I mean, it's seriously endless what you could do here.
Yeah.
How is Kingfisher, y'all's location, particularly different from other virtual studios?
It's not the equipment, right? The equipment's the equipment. It's the people. Like the team we have put together here are some of the best folks in the business. It's been an honor to try to bring this team together and be able to start working with them and taking this concept and be like, okay, guys, how do we break it and how do we fix it? And this is the right team to do that. And a lot of other virtual studios tend to be outside of the city, right? Because they have larger stages and things like that. Our focus, because of our location, being so close to downtown Nashville, so close to Music Row, is kind of ideal, but we've made it as big as the world needs to be.
So who are we going to be meeting today?
Well, you get to meet a good chunk of the team. So we're going to go talk to Tyler a little bit about the technical and how things are working. We're going to sit and talk to Matt about the Unreal Engine. That's this. He's the master of that. And then we're going to talk to Josh about our post-production process and how that is all working. So
we are clearly on the streets of Paris.
Yeah.
Where else can we go?
Really, wherever we imagine. So we could even go here. Oh, crap, hang on. Here we are. It's better.
We're in space.
We are.
Oh my
Just
God.
like that.
This is too freaking cool. I mean, we're in the future right now.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's happening. What are you most excited about?
I mean, first off, I am really excited that we actually finally have this up and running. It has been such a labor of love and just intense to get it here. I mean, I'm excited about our staff that we have. We have a team of really technical and creative folks that have so much experience in this world. And, you know, we're here to help the clients get what they want and accomplish what they need. And, I mean, we're here 24/7, so we're available. So
if I have an idea of something creative, but I don't necessarily know how to script it or build it, do you guys help with the creative process?
We've got all of it. So we've got from creative to scripting to storyboarding to from start to finish. We can bring it in and whatever is needed, we're there to take care of it.
Okay, so this is very technical.
Yeah.
How does this all work? Who actually runs this?
It's a team.
Yeah.
Could not do it without them. It's great to have this team together. They're powerful, they're mighty, but let's just go meet them. I think that's better.
Let's do it.
Let's go meet Tyler.
am here with Tyler Montanino, who is the video production specialist and studio technical lead. What are you doing behind this camera right now?
Right now, I'm operating this jib. We've got two cameras, both with the MOSIS system tracking, more or less in control of these cameras, the optics going on with them, the tracking, and then the lighting for our green screen. So getting a good key and getting the lights in to sell the shot.
What are you focused on when you're behind this camera in particular?
Overall, we're getting motion here with this jib, which is really one of the best things that we can do to sell our tracking and really show off the ability. Something you can't do in just plates is move the camera. So being able to move and just even readjust a shot really quickly if you need to is such a time saver, I think, when you're doing this kind of work on a green screen.
Okay, let's talk about lighting. Can we step out and talk about how that...
Yeah, let's take a look at the green screen. Here, let me see. Let me turn the light on for us so we can actually see our faces a little bit better. And watch your eyes striking.
Oh!
It's nice when everything's LED and I can just control it with the phone, walk around nice and...
Okay, that's nice.
A little bit more.
Ooh, lovely.
Okay, there we are.
What do you call that?
Bi-colored LED globe we have in the grid. It's great to have a grid so you can just get things off the floor so that they're not in your shot for the green screen because we want as much space as possible to work with.
How many dots are on the ceiling, and what are they?
Okay, so these are our stars, as MOSIS likes to call them. So they're track points. And what looks at these track points is a secondary camera on top of our cameras here. So this is our MOSIS system.
MOSIS.
Yeah, and on here is a little camera that's shooting light, and it's hitting here and reflecting back down on a lens. And you'll see these are all the points that are up there. So it's tracking these in real time with just almost no delay at all. We're tracking the zoom, we're tracking the focus, the T-stop, and all the tiny little optics that happen with each lens, because each one's individual. They're all unique. So if I were to swap, even though these are the same lenses, if I swap them on these cameras, I have to recalibrate that lens because it's that specific, each camera and lens marrying.
Wow. So if I sit down on the set, can you zoom in on me and then zoom in on focus on what's behind me?
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So we can do little rack focuses, if I was starting here.
Are those birds?
Maybe, and just I think those are some leaves we have, but we do have birds in the scene.
That is so crazy. So, I mean, you're zooming and focusing on things that are not there right now. Mm-hmm. That's blowing my mind. So how do you make this set bigger than it actually is?
So we've got a little trick here. We put in mats, digital mats in the Unreal Engine. So on this screen, you can see we've got, a bunch of stuff over here that's helping with our lighting. But final feed, we're cutting it off right about here because our talent, they're not moving any farther than that. They're sitting in the chair the whole time. But this now gives me the ability, I'm panning off the set completely. And then if I want to come back, our talent is still right there.
And then let's go this way.
And then we can go over here.
Heyo, see ya. Yo, all right, so I'm back. So this is as far as I can go, but then you can continue panning.
But the camera's going to see
wow, man.
everything and really, that's real life.
Oh, that's bright. We're back. And I'll keep following it. Wow, okay.
So with that, we can make the world as big as we want.
Okay, so what are the most common issues that you're looking for while you're filming live?
First of all, our tracking, making sure that's working right. And secondly would be our green screen, getting that correct while also balancing the lighting you want to do. Can be a bit of a challenge. If anyone's worked with green screen, they know you got to get it just right.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of this stuff. It's either perfect or you're going to see the effect happen.
I feel like you have to be a lighting designer to really know how to do this. Like, how did you learn?
You need to have your hands in every little domain because I come from the cinema world, not really the live events world.
All right.
So that's where I learned to light was just doing it. G&E is one of those things where it took a long time to feel comfortable, a really long time, but it's incredibly helpful for stuff like this.
What was your first gig?
I was still in school, and then I saw an online ad to make a little cheap commercial for someone's catering company, so I was filming tomatoes and lettuce, and
yes.
I was really proud of it, actually.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
And then progressing into, what is one of the most proud moments of your career so far?
There's certain directors and people I've worked with that are just so passionate. And those jobs can be really hard because the passionate ones don't always get so much money. But when you accomplish something that was very difficult, we've had some shoots that are just, you're lugging cases up a mountain in my career. And once you're done with it and you finally see that image up on screen, you're like, okay, it was worth it. That feels good. Yeah. As people say, trust the process nowadays. Is that the common?
I think this is the most trust the process, man.
Oh, yes.
Especially a client coming in and being like, what? How do I act like I'm in this world that I'm not? But then when you see what it really looks like, I feel like that's when you really transform.
That's also what's great about this being live. They can see it in real time, and then the trust is immediately there for because people walking in front of camera that don't do it every day, that's half the career is coaching people into just feeling comfortable, and like getting that trust is much easier when they can see themselves right there in the world.
Totally. So what kind of person thrives in a role like yours?
First, having the knowledge of the tracking system, but you really want to have cross-domain knowledge of like lighting, general cinema stuff, but generally green screen studio work, VFX work, Unreal Engine. I must have spent at least over 1,000 hours just getting myself up to speed in that program.
Wow.
It's a monster.
Do you ever think do I really want to do this? Like 1,000 hours? Like what was driving you to want to accomplish that?
That's what's funny is I couldn't tell you. It was just too much fun. So it's definitely one of the hardest things I've ever gone after. So having that drive, because you're going to fail constantly. Just keep failing until you get it right. But that's a lot of cinema too. You'll never know the mistake until you see it.
Well, thank you so much for showing me this. Where are we going now?
I think we should probably pop into the control room, go visit Matt in the Unreal world.
Thank you. Hey there, quick break to tell you that if you are enjoying this docuseries episode and you work for a company in live events, we can tell your story like this too. So if you want a mini documentary episode to share your brand in an educational and engaging way, go to gigs.live and head to the sponsorship section. Because when you show the reality of the work, which is your culture, your process, your people, you attract the right talent and the right partners. And if you're a professional who wants to work at great companies like these, then go to gigs.live, create a professional account today, and start finding your next gig. I am here with Matt DeMonica, who is the senior media animator here in the control room. So thank you for doing this.
Hey, thank you for being here.
What does your role as senior animator actually entail?
Yeah, so it actually entails a few different hats. I am fortunate to wear many hats. I do After Effects, which is more like 2D motion graphic stuff. So if you're ever see a lower third or a full screen graphic, I have my hand in that. 3D stuff, a lot of 3D motion graphics. I also do a lot of stuff in Unreal, which is more like environment building, world building, and stuff like that, which is cool because they all kind of mesh well together in a way. Yeah.
Did you ever play video games?
I love video games.
Did you ever create worlds in video games?
So I played with a lot of Legos as a kid.
There we go.
That was a big thing. I love playing with Legos and building with that. But I'm a very big gamer. My wife and I play video games all the time.
Hell yeah.
So it translates very well into what I do, yeah.
It's a good passion. Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, so how are these worlds actually built?
It's built with a few different programs, but we all output everything through Unreal Engine, which is actually, at its core, is a game engine.
Oh.
But people much smarter than me and more creative than me have figured out ways to turn it into a way to use virtual production for film and video and stuff like that. So we'll use various programs, though, to get assets into Unreal Engine. And the beauty of Unreal Engine is because it's a game engine, it's rendering everything in real time. And what that means is everything before Unreal Engine used to always take a very long time to render. You'd click a button, it has to calculate light and everything to get a final output. But with Unreal Engine, we can put 3D assets in there, light it real time, change everything, get real time feedback, which is amazing. What
brought you into this world?
Really, as I was playing with After Effects and really getting comfortable with it and expanding my knowledge in it, I started to notice certain limitations that After Effects had. So I started to dabble in 3D with Cinema 4D and stuff like that and seeing the basically endless possibilities you can do in there. The only thing that bugged me, though, is I'm kind of impatient, so I wanted to see instant feedback. And once I found out about Unreal Engine, that kind of came into the scene, I thought, wait a minute, I can take my Cinema 4D stuff, bring it into Unreal Engine, and boom, 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 I'm good to go. So it's kind of been a journey to get to this point, but I feel like this journey has kind of helped me build and build and build to where I'm comfortable now working into that.
So if I say, all right, I want a scene where I'm on a Paris sidewalk at a cafe, where do you start?
I always say that, and a lot of people say that art imitates life. So you always want to grab reference images of real life. There's so many good assets online, people taking pictures of everything. And the really cool thing now is not only have people taken flat images, they've taken 3D scans of objects. Wow. And what that means is they basically take their camera and scan real world objects, which is how these things look so realistic nowadays, because most of these models are actually 3D scanned objects. So it comes with the data of the displacement, it comes with the lighting. So we're able to build much more realistic worlds now than we were before.
Is any of that real footage or no?
So when you say real, it's kind of interesting. The sky is actually something that we call an HDRI, which is basically a 3D captured of the sky. Like someone takes a dome, captures the entire sky, and we're able to light our scene with that. So that is technically as close as we have to a real thing, per se. Yeah, but all of the objects are 3D scans. So in a sense, they're real, but they've been digitized.
So what makes it believable on camera?
The thing that I think makes it most believable is imperfections. Everything around you has scratches, fingerprints, dust, dirt, grime. And when you start to make things look too perfect, that's the moment your brain says, wait, that doesn't look right, that looks fake. So we're always trying to make sure, like, oh, if there's a street on here, it's got cracks in it. Asphalt has cracks.
Yeah, there's gum.
Yeah, exactly. You'll see that. You'll see the fingerprints if you get really close to the glass, so it's not a super smooth, clear reflection. So it's stuff like that that you really want to be aware of when you're building these worlds to help sell the believability of it.
How do you work with the lighting teams to like really ensure that the shadows match with the awning?
Right. It's a partnership. It definitely is. We're kind of a band. Everybody's got to play together or it just sounds janky. So what I normally do is I talk with Tyler, I talk with Brett, I talk with the team, and we're saying this is the kind of look and feel that we're going for. This is the kind of gag we're trying to do. If it's Brett sticking his hand out in the lighting, it's like, okay, we need to make sure that the sun's right here. Wow. But it's also, there's a constantly tweaking. We'll be on headsets and comms. Tyler will be up on the ladder tweaking a light. I'll be in here moving the sun around literally digitally to make sure that we can get it just exactly how it needs to be, yeah.
What environments are the hardest to pull off?
So anything with a large body of water where you want realistic water, we try to stay away from or not keep it, like I said, in the foreground. It's all, at the end of the day, it's kind of a magic trick where you're kind of pulling off stuff. People aren't sure how you do it, but if they see behind the curtain, they'll be like, oh, wait, something looks off.
Yeah, well, because I know in here you're seeing leaves falling.
Right.
So, I mean, with movement,
right.
Does it have to just be limited on how much movement?
If you want to have like ocean waves crashing into each other, yeah, you're going to want to stay away or go to another outsourced program for that. But Unreal Engine is getting better. That's the cool thing and the exciting thing about these programs is that they're always getting better and they're always getting better at talking to each other with implementation. So it's always exciting to see like the next iteration because I know that they're constantly evolving and it's really exciting.
How do you know when a world is ready to go?
Yeah, it's interesting because you don't really know 100% it's good to go until you show up on set. You try as much as you can in pre-production with storyboards and animatics to say, okay, this is where the camera's going to be, this is where it's going to lie, this is our angles and stuff, and build for that. But until you finally get in there, you get the cameras going, moving around your world, you might pan the camera or tilt the camera one way and say, oh, wait, I didn't build anything right there. Hold on, let me throw a building in right there. Let me throw a tree in there right there. And that's the beauty of Unreal is that we can do that very quickly and get that real-time feedback, which is nice. So yes, you want to get it as close as you can before the cameras start rolling, but the nice thing is once you show up on set, you do have a little bit of flexibility given the time to make tweaks to fully put like your seal of approval, hey, it's done, it's good to go kind of thing.
So what excites you most in your position here and what everything that's going to be happening with Kingfisher?
I think what excites me most here about Kingfisher is just now finally our ability to do virtual production. Virtual production is at its core pretty complicated. You need a lot of moving pieces and a lot of people that really know their craft. And I think here we've got that. And I think it's really go time and it's really fun to see what we're done and what we're going to do here.
Is there anything you want to show me on the computer?
Yeah, I can kind of show you and kind of like fly you around the world.
Yes.
Yeah, so what's really cool is like the first time they see this, they're always like, wow, it's just like you're playing Minecraft and stuff.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, you kind of are. You have assets that you brought in from 3D programs and you're able to just kind of like fly around the world. Yeah, so like you can see kind of like,
what?
Yeah.
There's the Eiffel Tower. Okay.
Right. So if you see like a lot of these buildings, they're kind of the same in a sense. And you would never see that though, because if you look, we were all the way down. We were kind of down here chilling.
Wow.
Yeah. So you only see these things, but
Like Inception.
right, exactly. So this is actually a nice 3D scanned asset that was brought in. A lot of these assets was actually built by a team that went to Paris with their cameras, spent months on end scanning these assets, and we were kind of able through that to art direct it and kind of build our what we needed, which is really cool. And that's another thing I really like is there's a lot of collaboration. I always say work harder, not smarter. So like these trees, for instance, we didn't build every tree on here.
Yeah.
These have been built by someone else and we've just been able to art direct. And I think that's a really fun part of what I do is we might not necessarily have to build and put in every nail into the board, but we can take more of our time to art direct a scene, make it creative how we want to make it through that. So we can spend more time on the back end as opposed to, okay, now I've got to make 14 different trees that maybe the average person would be like, hey, that tree looks like that tree looks like that.
Yeah. So like a crowd, like if you're in a stadium or something, you put people in there.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Wow. So, and here's what I'm saying about the water. Yeah, so you've got water going on, which is really cool.
Yo.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I see it's like in that first you can see where the tech advances.
Right.
And make that
Exactly. So that's the thing is like they're constantly iterating, things are constantly getting better. The great thing too about this and what I'm talking about is real-time feedback and how easy it is to light stuff. So we have something called our directional light, and that's our sun. So if we wanted to change the lighting, so that's what's the collaboration we've talked about is so easy this day and age, because if Brett or Tyler's like, hey, we need to change the lighting of this scene, we're not really feeling it. Let's do something maybe a little more dramatic and overcast. We've got that, Hey, maybe we wanted something that's almost nighttime-esque. We can lower the strength of the sun and get something really like dramatic looking, which is really cool.
And then you just have to adjust the lighting in real life.
Right, exactly. So then they'll be seeing real-time feedback of what I'm seeing. I'll be seeing real-time feedback of what they're doing, and we can really collaborate together to really produce a beautiful image and a beautiful scene.
What I'm seeing on the chair here, that's the real light on the chair, right?
That's the real light coming from the chair. Yeah, exactly.
And the
right.
real light coming right next to it. Okay, and the rest of the world just went darker.
Right, exactly.
Dusk. Okay.
Yep.
And how would someone, if they're watching this and they're like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
How would they get started?
Thankfully nowadays there's a lot of tutorials, there's a lot of classes that kind of help teach you this kind of stuff. And that's kind of how I learned is you just got to dive in. You just got to dive in and do it. You got to get messy. You got to make mistakes. But through those mistakes and doing smaller projects, you kind of build up that repertoire to eventually where you're building cities and forests and worlds.
You got a pretty cool job, Matt.
I love it.
Thank you so much for going over all
Absolutely.
this. So you created it, we filmed it. What's the next step of this?
So the next thing would be editing and posting it finally. You have your plates. Now it's time to get it over to edit and over to Josh, and he'll do his magic over there.
So we're going to go see Josh?
Yeah.
Let's go do it.
Let's do it.
We are here now with Josh Ickes, who is the senior editor here. So thanks so much for walking us through how post works. Tell me what you do as senior editor here.
So my role here at Kingfisher, it encompasses the studio for the post, but all of our other projects outside of that as well. We have on-site turnaround for Leo clients. We have other kind of more commercial leaning things. It's a wide variety, and you kind of have to be ready to move in any direction and learn a whole lot of different technology to make it happen.
At what point do you get involved with a shoot like this?
Generally, for something in the studio, it's as early as possible.
Okay.
Because when Matt and Tyler are figuring out kind of what we're going to see in the environment, we need to have discussions about what it's going to look like in the edit, because they have to plan which angles are going to happen, and they need to figure out which angles we're shooting from, because it's kind of infinite in there. So you could just keep going around and never actually quite hit the right one.
Wow, yeah. So what does post-production look like after a shoot like what we just did today?
Partially, post-production is a little easy because we've planned all the shots up front.
Okay.
So then it's running through, you're choosing the exact frames, the ins and outs for that. But the angles, which is kind of a problem in live production, that part's already locked down. So that's easier. We've got great audio capture in there as well, which kind of smooths that out too.
So what are you handed at the end of the day that you then dive into this post?
I get from the record decks the actual, what the camera saw, the people on green. We get the composite, we get the key, kind of get all these different elements individually. So that way in post, we can tweak them, we can color match a little bit better. All of your adjustments will help things blend and help them merge.
Got it. Yeah. What is a composite?
The composite is when what you saw live in there, basically. It's you in the environment.
Okay. So it was the Paris streets or
Yes.
the space. That's the composite.
Yes.
Shooting me separately so that in post, if there's any weird lighting thing, you can touch it up with what you're doing.
Yes, and we can even expand the other worlds and kind of on the outsides. We also will get B-roll shots from those environments because with the virtual camera, they can actually fly around and find a stream trickling through the trees or something, depending on where you're at.
How do you stay up to date on all the new things that are coming out? Because I can imagine you could get comfortable in one area, but you got to keep learning. Like, where do you go to educate yourself on these things?
I get educated on YouTube and Reddit, just like everybody else. And I pretty constantly, because it is my passion outside of here as well, I'm studying, I'm watching movies, watching commercials, even techniques that we found in, high-end Pepsi commercials and Lexus commercials that I can recreate and find those in the edit and bring them to our clients as well. So it's really fun to actually try to stay on the edge of those things.
That's so important. So how does the work that you're doing, the work you guys are doing, support long-term content use or repurposing?
One of the nice things is because we're capturing all these streams separately, we can actually go back in and alter the world that they're in. So if a logo gets updated, if somebody changes their color palette a little bit, if they have an artwork in the back that represents something, we can actually swap that out as time goes on.
What is a misconception that clients usually have about the role that you're doing?
One of the misconceptions we commonly get is any of the changes are just easy, like it's a cut and paste, like it's some kind of text document or something. And I don't think the realization of a few frames can change somebody's perception of an edit. Music mix being a little higher or lower, the dialogue clipping at a certain point, all of these things can really change how you view it. And they just think sometimes it's, just slap something in there. And it's like, okay, these are all exactly chosen for a reason. If you want to tell me the result you want to get, that's often easier and gets to actually what they want. Because on the technical end, we know what to do when somebody says, shorten this by half. And I'm like, it's probably not going to achieve what you want, actually. Let's talk about your intent.
Interesting.
And that way we can really get to the heart of what it is.
What is your favorite part about the editing process and your least favorite part?
My favorite part about the editing process is when I crack it. There's a moment when you're doing an edit that it just starts to come together. Because especially on something creative, you're kind of throwing footage around, you're adding B-roll, and you're feeling it out. And then it starts to find its rhythm, and you can really get into it. And that's when I get into a flow state. Least favorite is the moment right before you find the flow state, honestly. Because that's the darkest before the dawn kind of moment.
Yeah.
You can sit there for a while, you're working on it, and technically it might come together, but you really have to find the feel. And that does require sometimes stand up and walk away. Walk away and move on to another project a little bit, answer some emails, take a walk around the block.
Then lock back in.
Get a Coke Zero, and then it clicks, and you come back in, it's there.
Totally. What is a win for you in this process?
There's actually kind of multiple levels of wins. One of them is when I feel good with it, because I am a very harsh critic. Okay, if I like it, that's pretty good. Another one is internally, if our people like it. We have in the building some people with great taste and very discerning and picky.
Yeah.
Picky sometimes.
Totally.
but that's great.
You need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there are things where it's like, oh, if the audio gets past Brett, I know I did a good job. And then to see things projected or on the LED screens in big arenas and things,
That's crazy.
that's amazing to see.
That's your work.
Yeah.
Wow. That's your art. That's your craft. What are some of your favorite projects that you've gotten to work on?
One of the coolest ones was getting to work on the Ryder Cup opening. It involved gathering footage from decades of golf broadcasts, things that were shot specifically, things that we had from stock, mixing and matching all of it. And then Brett and I getting to sit and do a voiceover with Jimmy Fallon.
What?
Yes, we directed from here.
What?
Brett directed it and I said, hey, yeah, that was good. But I got to be here with it.
He was the narrator for this?
Yes.
Whoa.
It was very cool, and that's definitely a high.
All right, take me through, first of all, what are you editing in?
So we work out of Adobe Premiere primarily. We use other software as need to rise.
Okay, give me an idea of how you structured this project.
We had segments that were kind of called out in the script because they really wanted to highlight the locale and the pride that New York and Long Island specifically would take in this. So the scripting had this great section with New York footage in the opening, and Brett helped put together this great mix of like ambient sounds of the city moving and all of this really fun stuff before we moved to the more pastoral and kind of beautiful parts that were out on the golf course. The overarching for it was the game's going to be tough, like the city, but it's beautiful. There's a lot of tradition to it. And it was really fun to get to find all the right footage that would highlight how meaningful it was to all the players. And really, it's, you know, one of the most watched golf tournaments anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's everyone who gets to play in it takes a lot of pride. And it was really nice to be able to look through their archives, find stuff that was meaningful and would really hit and carry that message that they wanted to get across.
That's so much time. That is so much patience to find exactly what you're looking for. You want to show us some of your work? Can we see this?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Warning, what you're about to witness will not be gentle. The black course is brutal. This is the Ryder Cup, and this is New York. Forged by grit, defined by glory. From Central Park to the storied shores of Long Island, only the highly skilled stay in the game. Warning, this is Bethpage Black, with the sport's most feared conditions, built to challenge the best. And this week, it's America's home course. The world is watching as the Americans and the Europeans square off. Not for individual glory, but for pride, for country, and for tradition. Where the sport's top players battle for the game's most coveted hardware. You're not here to play it safe. You're here to make history. This is golf's greatest rivalry, the Ryder Cup.
I want to go. This is awesome. I feel something. I mean, really. And my favorite part was everyone clapping on the beat. Let's go.
That's one of those
that.
things when you unlock that, you're like, oh, fantastic. Yes.
Well done. I mean, it's like no one actually really thinks about how much goes into that. And just looking at this premiere project, it's like, how long did it take? Do you think of how many days, hours?
A lot of hours poured into this project because there were so many eyes on it and it was going to go out broadcast. It was really great to actually take everybody's input and still get to make something that I felt artistically good about.
Yeah. What are you most excited about the opening of Kingfisher Studios and your role?
Getting to really push the technology and the storytelling. That is really where my heart is. Even when it's corporate, even when it's kind of high level things, it's really important to me to get whatever the message is across in the most artistic way possible.
That's so cool. Josh, thank you so much for showing us what you can do and your creativity. You should feel so proud.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming.
Thanks so much to the Kingfisher and Leo team for showing us these virtual worlds. If you're interested in learning more, follow Kingfisher on socials. And if you want to work behind the scenes in these roles that we just saw, get on Gigs. Join at gigs.live. And thanks so much for watching. Let me try this one time. Sorry. Blah, 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 blah.
I'm gonna make
No RBF.
Baby Mountain Boy.
That is his title.
I'm a man mountain now. This is man. Mountain man. Come on. Merman. I pretend like I'm filming all the time. Sometimes I hit the big red button.
That's my official
Sweet.
title. Okay. I also go as like by Dragon Lord if you guys want to like put that in parentheses.
AKA
Yeah.
Dragon Lord.
I'm still trying to get them to change my email to that, but I guess there's some like
legal, it was in there.
corporate legal stuff that we're trying to.
Legal said no.
Okay, so you get this footage from the Ryder Cup. Where do you start? I can edit in iMovie, so that's where I feel comfortable. This is crazy. Yeah, Ginny's got TikTok. Damn it. I win.
Yep.
And then
She won. She won.
I got the elevator to work.